First real gale of the year. Not sure if that'll come out. It's currently gusting around 45 kilometers an hour, strongest gusts. Maybe touching 48 there. Yeah, 48, 49 are the gusts. I'm never actually that bothered about the wind by itself. However, it's been raining very heavily lately, and as you can see, big puddles everywhere. And what that does is it softens the ground and makes it more likely that the trees will be able to pull their roots out. It's a lot calmer down here, perhaps gusting 35 kilometers an hour maximum. Definitely more and more leaves breaking off and being dropped by the Paulownia. Though still quite astonished at how sturdy and resilient they've been. Not many bottom leaves left on this one. And it is rocking, but it's, considering how big the leaves are, it is sturdy. It's very sheltered down here. The regnans won't be sheltered for long if they're growing at 4 meters or 3.5 meters per year. So next year they will be significantly taller and more exposed. I think the issue for the regnans, like the viminalis, won't so much be the strong winds, but the very cold winter winds might burn the foliage. These subcrenulata have been astonishing. I'm really surprised at how tall they've grown in a year, well over 2 meters. I did wonder the other day whether I should take the tops off them. I think I'm inclined just to leave them and see how they get on. In a month or so, when we get more gales and stronger gales, I'll make a decision then. Gusting about 40 kilometers an hour down here. These are Rodwayi that I planted on the bank. They've been fantastic in terms of wind resilience, including cold winds, no burn off whatsoever. They're also a swamp gum, so in terms of being sturdy, they have a sprawling, intricate root system which pins them to the ground securely. These Nitens have been fabulous. They took a real beating from Storm Bara early this year, and straight up, really well secured into the ground. It's very exposed here to the northwesterlies, and they've stood up to that. Not just that, Nitens and all eucalyptus are great for drying up boggy, wet, saturated ground. When I planted these Nitens, by the time I'd made one hole for one and started on the next, the first one was full of water to the brim. And it was so squelchy underfoot here. And yet now, despite all the rain we've had in the last month or so, this is dry, very walkable lawn, no issues whatsoever. Some varieties of eucalyptus do better in wet ground than others. Needless to say, the swamp gums like Rodwayi do particularly well. If this part of eucalyptus, planting eucalyptus, interests you and you're not sure which variety to get, then just get in touch and I'll do my best to help. Good stock of Rodwayi. As I say, just fantastic for drying up wet, boggy ground. They're also grown commercially for firewood and can be coppiced. Good shelter tree too, and shade tree for livestock. As I said in a previous video with the Viminalis, the ones that blew over last year were the ones that were poorly planted, and even those only blew over once the ground was very saturated and very wet. Hope that helps. Good luck.